Brazilian Grand Prix at Interlagos used to be the final race of the season, but I think this might have been the final nail in Lando Norris's title challenge as he threw away the win as Max Verstappen came from 17th on the grid to take all 26 points. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Racing. For me, the title is over. Max Verstappen wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. He does it in style. Moved up 16 places and also got the fastest lap while he was at it, as he also saw his title challenger drop from pole position down to 6th.
Absolutely. Lando Norris came out and said after the race that Max won just due to luck, no skill. I mean, I think, yeah.
Did he actually say that?
Yeah, something along those lines. He said it was luck today. Let's be honest,
I can see his point. Look, I don't like that. I do not like Formula One now, the way the red flag. I mean, it used to be a red flag was so rare, and that a red flag was only used when they felt like it was necessary to clear the track or whatnot. Nowadays, anytime there's a bit of rain or there's a minor crash, you're like 50-50 whether it's going to get a red flag. We're seeing them stop races because they claim that the rain is too bad when you've got like 70-80% of the drivers refusing to go on wet tyres. That to me is embarrassing. If the rain is causing a red flag, everybody should be on the wets and people should be complaining. Everybody should be coming off and the driver should be saying it's not raceable. But we're getting red flags now and we're getting safety cars and virtual safety cars for rain that is intermediate levels. And to me, that affects how you race a wet weather race. It affects when you come in for pit stops. Back in the day, man, it used to be, oh yeah, it's raining. I'm going to put on the wets. I think I can go faster, or I'm going to put on a fresh set of intermediates, and I think I'll make that time up in 5, 7, 9 laps. But nowadays, it's almost like none of that really matters. It doesn't matter how fast you think you can go. It's all about track position. Even if you're slow, you're better off staying out. Because the likelihood is there's just so much more probability now of a red flag or a safety car than there was before. And I think that has ruined wet racing. And it actually ruins it as a viewer as well. I used to love wet races, but see now, with the whole safety car, the rolling starts and all that crap, I almost just want a dry race so there's no drama.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, right?
Well, I was honest.
Well, I'm going to say, I don't think Max Verstappen won this due to luck, right? This is McLaren and Norris fucking up. Like you say, see in modern F1, they just do not race in monsoon conditions. And you know what? I'll say fair play to them today. Because see, I think in the last bunch of wet races, they have red flagged it for way less. See when Lando Norris was coming around to turn 3 into 4 and he overtook Russell, they were going at about 20% of the normal speed, and they only red flagged it because there was a crash.
Yeah, but that's good. See if Norris.
No, that is good.
But see if Norris feels more comfortable in those conditions, lapping 5 seconds faster than Russell a lap. I'm good with that. I want that. That's the drivers that are willing to risk it in the wet weather conditions should be rewarded. I mean, now we don't get that.
But that's the problem, though, because Lando Norris and McLaren decided to cover Russell. Why would they pit? You know what F1's like. A red flag. They know a red flag gives you a free pit stop. Why not just keep Lando Norris out? I mean, and then Norris can say, oh, it was luck. Verstappen overtook Hamilton on the first lap into turn 1. What did Norris do? He got overtook by Russell into turn 1 and then was stuck behind him for pretty much the entire race. I'm not buying this. It was luck from Verstappen. Was it luck that the Alpines and Verstappen just went, you know what, we're going to stay out and see if we can survive this weather? It wasn't luck, it was skill. They were on worn inters when everyone else pitted for fresh inters. How's it luck? They knew. Red Bull and the two Alpine drivers know, right, that if they stay out and survive this, there's probably going to be a safety car or a red flag that we are going to massively benefit. That's what happened. It's just McLaren fumbling it again. They were talking about in the radio, oh, what are we going to do? We need to make the right call, Lando. They didn't make the right... You stay out.
Well, I'm going to disagree. I think with red flags and safety cars now, you're never truly at the race. I drive from the back of the grid's not that impressive anymore.
Yeah, but Max Verstappen overtook from 7th all the way up to where was it? I think it was sixth, fifth when Leclerc pitted. Here, well, that wasn't all due to a red flag and safety car. He had to overtake Ocon into turn one.
Would Max have won without safety cars and red flags?
I honestly think he might have.
I think he'd have been on the podium. I'm not convinced he wins. I don't think he finishes ahead of Norris.
I tell you what, I would have liked to have seen it. You know, the way he overtook Piastri, could he have got past Norris like that? Who knows? But I mean, in terms of the race, here, I thought it was a good race, but I think Carlos Sainz's crash just killed it because that's what brought out the last safety car, and then that's what made Ocon lose out to Verstappen. I mean, I think Verstappen would have got Ocon anyway, but it would have been interesting to see a bit more of a battle there. But it did finish. Verstappen, Ocon, Gasly, Russell, Leclerc, Norris, Shinoda, Piastri, Lawson, Hamilton. I think RB will kind of be kicking themselves. I mean, they started, third and fifth. They will probably look at where Alpine are and think that's where we could have been. But like you said with the red flag, these were two guys along with Perez that were on the wet weather tyre, and they were lapping seconds a lap quicker than everyone else. So they were really unfortunate. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles at the end of the day. But let's be honest, man. Russell, Leclerc, Norris, Piastri, Hamilton, Perez, they're in similar level cars to Verstappen. They were fucking nowhere near him today. I mean, look at Perez, man, compared to Verstappen in the same car. Look at Oscar Piastri. A lot of emphasis is getting put on Lando Norris, and he bottled it today. What did Piastri do today? I thought Piastri was shocking. Yeah, he let Norris back through, but Leclerc as well, not the best race, and Russell. Verstappen schooled them. See, anyone that thinks Verstappen ain't the best guy in the grid, I don't know what to tell you, man, he is.
He is the best guy, but I do believe he was fortunate today. The safety car and red flag played into his hands.
Yeah, but you make your own luck, man. He stayed out and he survived, and so did the Alpines. Were they fortunate? Yes, but I mean, you could see in those conditions, Ocon was the fastest guy on the inters, apart from obviously the guys on wets. But I mean, there was crashes. I mean, we haven't even addressed qualifying, but I mean, I guess qualifying's irrelevant. Max Verstappen starting 17th. I knew he was a decent chance to win this race. But Sergio Perez in 11th, 51 seconds behind his teammate. Another poor drive. Berman 12th, Bottas 13th, Alonso 14th, Ted Kravitz was, I don't know what he was doing, man.
Yeah, he was marking it over Alonso, catching up to Joe. It's like, Jesus Christ, Joe sucks, Sauber suck.
And then Carlos Sainz for hero to zero, because last weekend he was untouchable, this weekend he was nowhere. Colapinto bent it, Hulkenberg got disqualified first time.
Lance Stroll was embarrassing.
Lance, no, you know what, right? I mean, we can talk about everyone. Lance Stroll bends it on the formation lap and then drives into the gravel trap by himself and beaches it. The guy is awful.
Just embarrassing.
But, I mean, who is the biggest loser of this weekend? There's a bunch of teams, but for me, it's got to be Lando Norris, because that is the championship. See, after qualifying, it was 44 points the gap. He starts on pole.
You're thinking he's getting under 30, probably?
At least, yeah. Like, there's a possibility, due to the rain here, it could go to 19 if Max crashes out, gets caught up in some drama. But this was unthinkable. We can talk about red cards, red flags, and safety cars. It's a poor look for Norris.
I think Norris would have been upset had he won and Max came back and got on the podium.
Never
mind this. This is.
See if Norris started 17th and Max started first. Are you trying to tell me that Max Verstappen wouldn't have won this race?
Probably not.
Seeing the wet, he's a step above everyone. You could see in like the first 20 odd laps, man, he was overtaking people like we were a different formula.
We always hear how Lewis Hamilton's a wet weather warrior. He's a god in the rain, and
I just think Hamilton's done. We've put up a poll about him and Sainz. I mean, Sainz had a stinker today, but I mean, if you look at moments, Hamilton's won 2 races, so I'm not going to pretend the guy's awful. But in qualifying, he's lost a good few attempts, and in the race, I think his racecraft's bogging, man. He was getting battered out there by Perez and Lawson. Anyway, that is it for the Brazilian Grand Prix race review. Closing thoughts, what have you got to say? I mean, Max Verstappen just running rings around.
Championship's over. That's my
no, it's a shame. I mean, you want the championship to go as long as possible, but that has just killed it.
But you know what? Max deserves it, I think. Yeah, a bit fortunate at the beginning, I think, to have the fastest car, but he's not had the fastest car for the last, 11 races now, and McLaren on average have, and And when you look at it, what's Norris done in terms of points? Absolutely nothing. Pretty much no better off than he was.
No, it's
So for all the McLaren so-called dominance and superiority that they've had, Norris hasn't taken advantage of it.
But see, even though, yeah, you're right.
I believe if you switch it around and Max has 16 races, would it have been?
Aye, something like that.
16 or 15 races to eat into a 58-point gap with the car advantage. For me, Max is probably already ahead of Norris by now.
I agree. But here, next season, everyone starts for 0. There's no, we were better up until May, and then 0. If it's as competitive next season for the get-go, we're in for a great season.
I think we could get one of the best seasons of all time. If you have the top 4 cars and the drivers in those cars competing, then, because it's been a while since we've seen that. A lot of times you don't even get a title fight. And then if you're lucky enough to get a title fight, it's normally a 2-horse race. Genuinely think next season we could have a 4 or 5-way title fight in the drivers, and maybe even the same with the constructors.
Yeah. And it's not only about, Max was the quickest, but honestly, see him and Ocon, maybe Gasly's, they were like the only 3 that didn't make mistakes in that race. Everyone else, Perez was spinning, Sainz out, man, Alonso made a few mistakes, Norris went off a few times, so did Piastri.
True, and it must have been hard for Gasly, because unlike Ocon, he didn't have a buffer, and he didn't have the luxury of, a gap over his opponent, pretty much for most of the race. Like, he was defending against Russell. Not like overly defend, but he kind of knew that if he did make a small mistake, that he was going to lose the podium.
Yeah. But here, Alpine go from 9th to 6th in the constructors. That's absolutely insane. And it's something that I need in the F1 manager save going into Abu Dhabi. Will I get it? Probably not. Cheap wee plug there. Check it out. But anyway, till next time. Peace.